the cash bond system to make money for their department, and that's sort of their practices. And the city attorney literally drives by the scene, and Officer Walters has a long conversation with him, and then another guy rolls up, and Officer Walters is talking to him, and on the cell phone then becomes the Lexington police chief. After he asked me to come to this vehicle to talk to the police chief, I can see on the phone a picture of the police chief, like you can program him in your phone, and it's a larger, bald, black guy who's the police chief of this white Officer Walters, who's clearly got some anger issues. And he explains to me, the chief does, that they're going to let me go on an own recognizance bond, because normally they demand a cash bond. And if you read the Justice Department reports, that's what they do. They use the cash bond system to make money for their department, and that's sort of their practices. But they decide they're going to let me go on an OR because I tell them I don't have any money. I don't have any access to any money. I told them I was poor and that I didn't have anything. Again, I'd read the Justice Department reports, so I knew I was testing that whole issue of this cash bond system. And so I told him I was broke. And he's like, "You're a lawyer." And I'm like, I explained to him I was broke. And, which is not untrue. And how they're going to take me to the police department is they're going to let me go, and I'm going to follow him back to the police department that I had left a little while ago to sit down and sign a subpoena for me to return for my court date for obstruction or something like that.
So apparently I'm going to the Lexington City Police Department to be processed in and then released on my own recognizance with a court date is what they're doing.
And they tell me that, hey, if you leave, and I don't have any of the cameras at this point, but hey, if you leave, just call us after you're gone, and we'll make this court date disappear. And Officer Walters decides that he wants to befriend me and starts talking about, he tries to start explaining himself and his behavior and that he's not such a bad guy. And I explained to them, I was like, look, folks, I'm not just a foreigner from the state of Oklahoma. I explained to them where I was from. I explained to them that I grew up in Laurel, Mississippi, and Jones County, Mississippi. I explained to them a little bit of my history in the state of Mississippi and the connections that I still have in the state. And man, the man started shaking my hand. He shook my hand at least 5 times before I left there. And I was shaking his hand as many times as he wanted to shake my hand because I wanted to get my butt out of that police station. And interestingly, while we're sitting there, I could hear the phones ringing.